Hello and welcome back to another episode of this week's watches, and as you can see, again a nice range of watches from vintage 18 karat pink gold Zeniths to a really gorgeous 18 karat gold Corum and everything in between you can possibly imagine. As always, I want to start off by saying a huge thank you actually, because last week and every week so far this year has been incredible, and that's thanks to you guys and girls. One, purchasing these watches, and two, sending your watches to be sold or purchased from us, or whatever it may be. Just watching this video and liking on Instagram, all those things really do make a difference, so thank you very much. And this week there was a lot more watches than what you see on the table. There was actually quite a few more, so thank you very much. And for those of you who wonder how you get to buy a watch before it even gets on the website, the best way is follow us on Instagram. There you'll see on our stories what's coming soon. You'll also see on our actual main page of our Instagram, we've got a little highlights reel of coming soon, so you can see exactly what there is. But there was a really gorgeous Bulova Space View, an original early one, which just flew straight away to no surprise. There was a Apollo 11 50th anniversary Speedmaster, again something that went super quick. So thank you guys and girls, I really do appreciate it. And as always, if you'd like to skip to a certain watch that you see on the table to save all the rambling and going on of all the different watches, in the description there is each watch listed and a timestamp to that specific watch, and also a link to the website so you can see more details. That's why we don't mention price in this video, and we don't really talk much more than just sort of like the specifications and the feel, because the rest of it you'll see on there, and it sort of gives you a reason to go over to the website. You know, it's always better over there. And mid-video, a delivery's come from the strap tailor. Big shout out to him. We buy a fair few straps from him, and I really do enjoy them. And it is, oh, very nice. I'll put some photos on screen, but it is a really nice dark blue suede for the watch that I'm wearing on my wrist. So let's talk about that. This is my personal Zenith El Primero blue dial, one that I absolutely love. Unfortunately, it may have to go at some point. You know, it is a watch that I purchased as sort of better than money in the bank, but hopefully, fingers crossed, I won't have to, because this strap is going to change it, and on screen you'll probably see it on this strap as well. So thank you very much, Strap Tailor, really do appreciate it. Go check him out if you don't know who he is, and see his awesome range of straps. So without any further ado, let's get into the watches, and where to begin. I mean, what an incredible drop we have. Let's start with one that may already be gone by the time you're watching this. If not, I highly recommend, if you are interested, take it, because it is stunning. This Omega Mark 40. So starting off with a gorgeous Omega Speedmaster. This is the Omega Speedmaster Automatic, commonly known as the Reduced, and this is the triple calendar, as you can see, and again nicknamed the Mark 40. You can see you have a pointer date around the end, and up there at 12 o'clock you have the day and the month. Really gorgeous design, very busy, but also very well executed. You have a 24-hour as well as the running seconds over in that one. If we give it a wind, you'll see it start to go as well. He says, let's see, here we go. Yeah, here we go, you can see it's starting to beat away. Just a really gorgeous design, and a lot of you will know this watch has been reintroduced by Omega under a different reference in collaboration with a dinky. Because if you have A Man and His Watch, the book, you will see Ben Clymer actually owned this watch, and I believe, you'll have to correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it was his father's watch. So a nice story attached to that, and one he's had recreated in the modern Omega catalogue, limited edition of 500 watches, which has made these definitely more desirable. And to be honest, I think they were going in that direction anyway, with the increased popularity of the Speedmaster and these more unusual variants, especially these reduced with the automatic movements and the slightly smaller cases. I just think more and more people are getting into them. But let's talk specifics. So the reference of this one is ST3750084. There's different variants and different references to this sort of Mark 40 case, and they also came in different dials. This is the commonly more desirable reference with the more desirable dial. There is a black version as well, which is slightly different. It doesn't really look anything like this, to be honest, but the same reference, which can get a little bit confusing. Inside is the Omega Caliber 1151, and this one is from circa 1995. It doesn't come with any box or papers, unfortunately, but it was serviced by Swiss Time Services here in the UK, and it's had the full works done. and it's in fantastic condition, running beautifully, and it does come with our backed 12-month warranty as well. So as I said, 1995, so it has seen some life. There is a couple of marks on the bezel, but other than that, very, very fair condition overall. But let's put it on wrist and talk dimensions, because that is where this watch becomes a fan favorite for so many. And here we go on wrist. As most of you know by now, I have a 6 3/4 inch wrist for reference, and so does our photographer, the one who does the wrist shots on the website. So that should make it nice and easy to justify or judge, sorry, wrist sizes and wrist presence and all that kind of stuff. But here we go. So it is 39mm by 44.5mm lug to lug, so nice short lug to lug distance, which makes it wear very compact, very nice on the wrist. It is 13.5mm thick, so quite a bit thicker than what you'd probably expect, but it wears that weight very, very well, as you can see, and it just sits on the wrist nicely. You have 18mm lugs, which again opens up a whole world of strap options, NATOs, leathers, all sorts, but it is paired on its bracelet that will only fit a 6 3/4 inch wrist as it stands. Now, sourcing spare links can be done, so if you do require more, do let us know and we can be on the hunt for you. But there you go. So go check this one out on the website, see the macros of that stunning dial. Sticking to chronograph, but let's go all the way to vintage, around 1954 to be exact, a oversized 18 karat pink gold Zenith, and obviously I love Zenith. Here we go. Does it get any better than a vintage Zenith? I mean, for those of you who know, I love Zenith. I have a modern Zenith, I have a vintage Zenith, I've owned multiple, and this is one of the nicer ones for sure. Now let's address the elephant in the room real quick, that crown. Now that crown isn't yellow gold, because the case is pink gold. That is the original crown. As you can see, it still has the markings there, but the gold cap basically has worn away and it's revealing the brass underneath, because this watch is from 1954. So we have opted to leave the crown on there for originality purposes, but if you would prefer a pink crown put on, I'm not sure we can necessarily get a Zenith one, but we can definitely get a period correct looking pink crown to go on it and provide you with the original Zenith to put back on it if you ever want to. We can get that done for you, but for originality purposes, we've left it on there. It really isn't that noticeable in person. You definitely, can see it's definitely not the same color as the case, but it's, original, and I think that's definitely something for a watch like this, especially with its original dial, which you can see has got beautiful speckling and everything like that. But this watch is from 1954, circa 1954, based on everything we know. It is 18 karat pink gold, and it is a oversized reference at 37mm. Now, in terms of numbers and everything we have, the case number 19518 and 143831 is what we have based on the back right there. These don't really correlate to much, because this is at a time where there wasn't an awful lot of consistency with numbers and them sort of preparing and planning for the future of collectors who would be sort of religiously searching these kind of numbers. But inside is a manually wound Zenith caliber 156D, which is a very, very great beautiful sort of movement as well. And you can see you've got these squared pushers, stop, start and reset, as you would expect from a normal chronograph, and this has been fully serviced, and it does come with our 12 months non-waterproof warranty. I feel like I've got to say that a little bit more every now and again. Do not take this watch anywhere near water, please, I beg you, you will ruin it. And also, you've got it on a leather strap, so why would you? But I do occasionally get people ask with 50s, 60s, 70s watches, can they take them in water? I would not recommend it. Even if it's been pressure tested, you just don't know what could fail on a watch that old when in water. So please, I beg you, don't do it. But let's put this on wrist and have a look at the size. And there we go on wrist. This is where the pink gold really, really shines. Now, my personal skin tone, I don't feel like I can get away with yellow gold in most cases. Occasionally I can, but to be honest, pink gold is what I would personally choose. And this is absolutely stunning. So as I said, 37mm by 44.5mm lug to lug. The exact same as the MK40, interestingly, the Amiga we just looked at. 11.5mm thick and 20mm lugs, which really helps with that oversized 37mm case to give a very, very modern wrist appearance for a 1954 watch. I mean, it's just crazy to think. An absolutely gorgeous condition, really nice dial. Go check it out. It has speckles, which I think really add a level of charm to the watch, but for those of you who don't like patina, you want your watches to look brand new, this isn't for you. But for those of you who appreciate vintage watches, do check this one out. From there, let's go to what is probably one of the nicest Bulova accutrons I've ever seen, and I've never seen a Devil Diver variant of it. So it's really interesting. Let's have a look. Next up is a watch that I really had to stop myself from trying to accumulate for myself for the personal collection, because as I said at the start, I've never seen another one of these, especially in this kind of condition, and also a tuning fork Devil Diver with this sort of Bakelite bezel, the original lume, which just glows. This warm colour under the light, as you can see, is absolutely stunning. Roulette date wheel over there, it's just amazing. Oh, and just a original bracelet, which is in stupendous condition. The whole case is unpolished, as you can see. Look at those lines. Like, this is a special watch, very, very special, and quite unknown, which makes it not a fortune. So for those of you who are looking for a very, very rare, very special vintage watch under £1,000 that has the potential to become something in the future, I would strongly recommend this watch, actually. And I wouldn't usually do that, but I do feel like this is a sleeper, as we call it, something that people just haven't clocked onto. But let's talk about what it actually is. It is a Bulova Accutron Devil Diver Deep Sea 666 feet. The reason they're called Devil Divers is because, as you can see there on the dial, 666 feet, 666, the devil. There you go, that sort of answers that question nice and quick. This one is from circa 1970 based on the numbers on the back, which you can see right there, N0 case number, which defines 1970 based on Bulova case coding. Inside here, as I said, it is a tuning fork. It's a Bulova electronic caliber 2181, and the specific reference to this is a 702-1. But the highlight is the condition. Now, as I said, under £1,000, you're getting yourself a absolutely stunning original Bulova tuning fork Devil Diver Bakelite bezel on its bracelet. I mean, I just don't think you're going to find another one, to be honest with you. But let's show it on wrist. Oh, and obviously, original sign crown that's recessed perfectly in there. You won't be able to get a generic crown to put in that, that's for sure. And also serviced, which is important on these tuning forks, because there's fewer and fewer people who actually work on these, and we have a watchmaker who has assessed this one because it was serviced by someone else, but he is one of the few people in the UK who can still do them. But let's put it on wrist and have a closer look. And here we go on wrist, a very surprising size as well for the 1970 in this kind of design, and again, price point. 40mm by 45mm lug to lug. That is a big watch for 1970, and sort of on par with the Submariner at the time. Only 13mm thick, so it sits nice and low against the wrist, and you have 18mm lugs, so if you want to swap out the bracelet, maybe to preserve it, or maybe just to swap it out every now and again, you have endless options. A black Tropic rubber strap would look at home on this watch. So go check out all the details on the website. Now on to what is probably and arguably one of the best value buys on the table. I'm going to say that. This is the 18 karat gold Piaget with its box and its original 18 karat gold buckle. And it's manually wound with a super thin caliber. So let's have a look. And here we have a gorgeous unisex watch. It is 30mm, so for some guys that's going to be way too small, but I think for a lot of guys out there who appreciate this sort of style, they're going to know for the most part these are this kind of size. And at the end of the day, if you're thinking of maybe getting your partner a watch, this could be that watch to do, because then you could steal it every now and again for yourself. Just saying, just saying. But anyway, this is a really beautiful 1990s 18 karat yellow gold Piaget Altiplano. I've probably absolutely butchered that, so I do apologise. And the reference is 9025/327376. And inside here, and this is where it gets very, very interesting, very important as well, there is a super thin, believe it or not, manually wound Piaget caliber 9P2, which is a very famous caliber from Piaget back when they were trying to compete with the likes of Patek in making some of the world's thinnest watches, and Piaget are still doing that sort of stuff today. As you can see, that is also the original 18 karat yellow gold buckle, which is nice that it's got. It also does come with its box, which unfortunately doesn't have any cushion inside, but it has got its box nonetheless. So really, really beautiful. A very nice, elegant cabochon crown. Simple two-hander, which is perfect for this kind of watch, and you've got a gold dial on there as well. Just absolutely stunning. As I said, circa 1990s, so it's what you would call neo-vintage. We have paired it on this really nice blue leather strap. Something to keep in mind is those lugs are short as anything, so you will struggle getting some straps in there, so do keep that in mind when you're thinking of swapping this strap out, because it may be a little bit difficult. So let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on my wrist, 6 3/4, and it is really, really nice, very elegant. This is the kind of watch that for some guys is just going to be way too small, but you know what I say, for the style it just makes sense to be this kind of size. You're looking at 30mm by 33mm lug to lug, only 4.5mm thick, and that's including the movement, crystal, case back, everything. So it is so low to the wrist, it's insane. And then you've got 16mm lugs, and as I said, you're going to have to find a strap that is very close to the case and works with that. But here you go, check it out on the website for more details, and it is an absolute bargain for what you get, in my personal opinion. And we've actually got one for the ladies this time. So I always get asked, why don't we do more ladies watches? And the reason being, any of these watches can be ladies watches or they can be gents watches. It doesn't matter, buy what you like. But this one is definitely very small, so if you're a gent, I think it may be a bit too small, but hey, each to their own. It is a stunning 18 karat pink gold Longines. And here we go, one for the ladies. This is a really gorgeous 18 karat pink gold Longines Dolce Vita from 2005. This does come with its full box and paperwork and everything like that, and it is in unworn condition, so I guess due to the age you would call it no old stock. You can see original Longines strap as well, sticker still on the back, Longines buckle, which isn't solid 18 unfortunately, it is gold plated, but the watch itself is solid 18 karat. These have been very, very popular. When I used to work retail, people loved these as well, and you can get this one at a pretty reasonable price, especially when you have a look at what the modern stainless steel versions are going for, and you can get an 18 karat pink gold version from us instead. It is a quartz, so inside is an ETA 280.153, and the specific reference to this is L5.155.8, and as I said, it's from December 2005, and it does come with its box and papers. I'm not going to show it on wrist. There is a wrist shot on the website on a lady's wrist, so do check that out. It is 19.5mm case by 30mm lug to lug. It is only 6.5mm thick and 15mm lugs, so you can see it would work very well on most ladies' wrists, and you know, if you're a guy out there and you want to give this a go for it, but go check it out. Now let's have a look at a really cool and interesting limited edition Christopher Ward that I've actually had before. Not this exact one, but I've had one before and it went pretty quick as well, so let's take a look. And here is a limited edition Christopher Ward, and this one is actually unworn. Any sort of marks you see on the strap are just from being stored, as opposed to actually being worn. You can see the condition is stupendous and original and just nice. A really gorgeous watch, this. Very clearly inspired, I think we can say that, by the Rolex Explorer 2, more specifically the older reference, or actually a cross between the older reference and the newer reference, and obviously a bit of their own DNA put in there as well, but a really gorgeous design. This one is a limited edition of 300 pieces, and as I said, we've had two, and they've always done very well. People seem to really like these, and I can see why. So this is a Christopher Ward C65 Anthropocene, and I keep getting these watches with the names I just can't say, so I do apologize. As I said, limited to 300. The specific reference is C65.41.AGN, and inside here is a chronometer certified automatic Solita SW330, and it does come with its chronometer certificate in its box and papers, and all that good stuff. But really, really gorgeous design. It is from November 2019, which is when most of them are from, because the limited edition sold out, I believe, within a day. Correct me if I'm wrong, but let's show it on wrist and talk about dimensions, because for a 41mm it actually wears more like a 39 in my opinion. And here we go on wrist. So as I said, this watch, in my opinion, doesn't wear like a 41 because it's so thin and the design is just so well done. It is 41mm by 47mm lug to lug, only 12mm thick and 22mm lugs. It does come on its original black rubber and sort of textured strap with its original buckle. You can get a bracelet from Christopher Ward which fits this watch and just transforms it as well, so that's definitely something to think about if you are considering this watch. But go check out on the website for more details, see the macros and see how beautiful the design is, and also that case, beautiful finishing. Whilst we're on Christopher Wards, let's have a look at this really cool super compressor by them in blue. And another Christopher Ward. We do like them here at Kibble Watches. We seem to get a fair few in, and you guys and girls seem to like buying them as well, because one, at retail they offer incredible value, but pre-owned it just gets even more great. So this is the now sort of famous Christopher Ward C65 Super Compressor, blue on blue as we've called it. And it's important to note this isn't from the batch with the slightly misaligned dials. A lot of you will know they are floating around, some of those being advertised as not being that, but this wasn't one of those either, so you can be reassured of that. This is a worn watch, not unworn like the last Christopher Ward, but it is in very, very good condition. C65 Super Compressor, and again, a chronometer certified and very well designed really and executed, as you can see there on the case back. Automatic Sellita SW200-1. The chronometer certificate is in the box with all the paperwork and everything like that, so you'll get all that, and you can see just the design that's gone into this, and the thought as well is really, really great. You've got the top crown here to change the bezel, and the bottom screw down crown here to change the time. You can see this is a no date model, which I'm so glad they did personally. This one comes from December 2020, and it does have its full box and papers, as I said, and that blue really does pop. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions, because it is very, very similar to the Christopher Ward we just looked at. And here we go on wrist. You'll see dimension wise it looks very similar on my wrist, but with more of a cushion shape. So it's 41mm by 47mm lug to lug. As I said, the exact same 13.5mm thick, so definitely a bit thicker, and again 22mm lugs, and it comes on the blue, original blue rubber and sort of canvas strap. It just wears really well, it looks really nice, and I do love a compressor watch. For those of you who know me quite well, you'll know I have a few in my personal collection and some that no one knows about, not many people know about. But this is a really nice example of a modern execution of a compressor at a very good price, so go check it out. We did actually have another Christopher Ward, but that's already gone. You guys and girls are too quick sometimes, but let's have a look at this really nice Seiko Samurai. So we have the turtle version of this watch, so why not bring in the Samurai as well? This is a really cool Seiko Samurai, which is the nickname Great White for the Great White Shark, and the specific reference is the SRPD23. As I said, we have the turtle version of this available on the website right now, so you get to choose between the two, but a really gorgeous watch. It is a larger watch, but it still wears very, very well. As I always say, Seiko have definitely nailed wrist ergonomics, if you can call it that, because they just do something with the shape of the cases and the way the lugs come down, and they've absolutely nailed it. I wish more brands would do stuff like this. You can see you've got drilled lug holes to switch out the strap, nice and easy if you wish, but I think the bracelet really works on it, and I think it's kind of one of the highlights of the Samurai range. But this one, I think the highlight is definitely the design and the dial, and the fact you've got that sort of shark fin coming out over there at 7 o'clock on the dial, 8 o'clock, sorry, and you've got the counterweight of the seconds, which is also a shark fin. Really, really gorgeous design. So as I said, it is an SRPD23, and inside is the automatic Seiko Caliber 4R36, and this one is from January 2020, and it does come with its box and papers, and it has incredible lume as well. But let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go, definitely a beast compared to what we've been looking at recently. It is 44mm by 48mm lug to lug, and again, there's my point that it wears well. Under that 50mm lug to lug I always go on about, and yet it is 44mm case. So just like the turtle, wears really, really well. Only 12.5mm thick and 22mm lugs, which again help with the size of the watch, because I think it'd look a bit odd if it was on a smaller bracelet than that. But go check it out, a very fair price for a great watch. And we are nearly done, but before we are, there is this really cool and funky clockers. I've actually had a few of these in the past, and they've always done very well because they're so funky. So next up, we have a watch that a few people have asked me if I have just put a leather strap on a kitchen scale, and the answer is no. This is a really, really cool Clockers Clock 08-D2, as it's known, from 2018, and let's talk about how this works, because at first it looks very confusing, but once you have a closer look, you'll see it really isn't. You can see over there in the center is the continuous seconds that's beating around, and if we pull this out, you'll start to understand how this works. So as we go this way, we are now at 10 AM or PM, obviously depending on how you set it, 10:15, 10:45, 11, 11:15, 11:45, 12, and so on and so on. And you can see just here, just after 12, it explains where the dashes are and what they mean. So a unique way to tell the time. Definitely not something to wear if you're wanting to tell the time nice and quick, because you have sort of got to look at it and think. But a very unique concept nonetheless, and that's what Clockers have done with this watch. A very round oval case and an interesting strap design choice. So you can see it's a nice leather strap, very nice quality. This is a brand new watch as well, barely worn, and you've got a red button over there, and if you press that and slide it out, you can see it unlocks the head of the case from the bracelet itself, which has this really interesting little design. So I think it's a fun watch, especially for the price, and you're sort of helping out a brand that are pushing the boundaries of what we are used to in watches, and I feel like more companies need to do that. So I am all for watches like this. Whilst they're not for everyone, that is completely fine, but let's show it on wrist and talk dimensions. And here we go on wrist. So a very unique looking watch, that's for sure. I think it may turn a few heads here and there, and if you take it to somewhere like a Red Bar event, I think people will be quite impressed, to be honest. But here we go. So 39.5mm by 39.5mm, not surprising there considering it's a perfect circle. 11mm thick and 18mm lugs, so really great watch, great options, and the strap options on their website I believe are pretty endless, so you can sort of match it with what you wish, but this brown goes very well with it. So go check this one out and make your decision of whether you like it or not, but the truth is I think we need more brands like this, so keep it going. And last but definitely not least, a really awesome Corum Admiral's Cup that comes with all of its paperwork, a great watch for under £1,000. And last but not least, a watch that really won't be for everyone, and that's completely fine. This is the Corum's Admiral Cup, 34mm on its bracelet, as you can see. This one does come with its box and papers, and it's actually from 1994, from November. Sorry, it just comes with its papers, not its original box. But the fact it has that is nice, and it's got its booklets and everything. Original signed crown, signed bracelet, integrated bracelet design. Just a unique looking watch with all the flags in there and dates, with a weird sort of cyclops, a very small cyclops. It seems like a few brands have definitely done this. Whether that's for you or not, that's for you to decide, but it is a funky looking watch and a hell of a lot of watch for the money, you know, especially from a brand like Corum. At the end of the day, they are a renowned brand that have actual history and heritage and have done interesting things all throughout their history. They actually did a Rolls-Royce watch with the Spirit of Ecstasy sort of hidden in the actual case of the watch with like a grill. I don't know how I'm explaining that, but if you search Corum Rolls-Royce, you will find exactly what I'm talking about. A very unique watch, and it's sort of a testament to what Corum do. They push the boundaries as well within the sort of conventional way of watches. But let's put this on wrist and have a closer look, and it is a Swiss quartz movement inside as well, which we've had fully checked over, and a new battery and everything like that, so it will come with our warranty. But let's put it on wrist. And here we go. I actually think this watch is nicer on wrist than it is off the wrist, and I think more people will appreciate it if they get to try it on. It's 34mm by 35mm lug to lug, only 6mm thick, so super thin, and 19mm lugs. That is the total distance there, so it helps with the size. Obviously it is smaller, but the lugs just make it look more like a bracelet that happens to have a watch on it, and it is a very unique bracelet design, which is super comfortable. So do check this one out on the website, and again, if it's not for you, that's fine, but I think it's a lot of watch for the money. So there you have it, guys and girls. That is this week's drop, and again, a huge variety from vintage to modern, from neo-vintage, from solid gold to stainless steel to everything in between, including funky independents. We have it all at Kibble Watches, and that's what we try and do. We don't just want to bring you the mainstream stuff, we want to bring you stuff to the market that you've probably, in some cases, never even seen before, and things that even shock us, which we find super fun. So if you have got a watch you want to sell, do get in contact. Go to kibblewatches.co.uk. At the top there is a sell button. Fill out the form, nice and simple. If you have more than one watch, maybe email us a list of the watches with all the details you can, just to make it a lot easier and quicker. But as always, stick to one platform, please. I'm going to say it every video until it's really ingrained. If you are messaging us on Instagram, stick to Instagram. If you're messaging us on WhatsApp, stick to WhatsApp, because it's not always me who deals with each platform, and it can just get very confusing when I'm talking to someone about one watch and it's me, and then someone else is telling me they've got a message about pretty much the same watch, and I don't know if it's the same person. So save us time and save yourself time. So thank you very much for watching. We hope you are enjoying what seems to be the nicer weather coming back. Hopefully by the time you watch this, it will be back properly. And keep well, keep safe out there, and we'll see you all next time.